I signed one of the most important documents of my life with my dad's Montblanc. But let me tell you how I got there. So my parents, they are entrepreneurs. They have a shoe store on my hometown, São José do Rio Preto in Brazil. Um, so I grew up with this type of life, like they were always working, and because it was a store, they were always there, and they always had this business. So yeah, I have like a lot of memories going to the store, spending like my Christmas period working there and helping to, like wrap gifts and everything. So I grew up there. I grew up seeing them, like having their own business. And somehow I always thought that I would end up taking care of their business, and like someday they would hand over the business to me and I would take care of it. But over time, as like I was growing up and understanding more about the business, more about the like that world, I was like, I don't know if I want that for me, because it was a lot of work. It was a lot of hours that they were spending there, especially like during these yeah, special dates like Christmas or Mother's Day or Valentine's, like all those dates they were working like extra hard because they were the most important dates for the business. So it was a lot of work and a lot of problems as well, like because when you have your own business, you are responsible for making the money, let's say. There's no safety net, or there's no guarantee that the money will, like be entering every month. So it was kind of like uncertain, let's say. And I remember they saying like a lot of times that we didn't have money, even though we like were not poor or anything like that. Like I remember like they talking like that. So for me that was a bit scary. And when I was growing up and when I was deciding what I wanted to do with my life, even though having my business seemed like very appealing and very exciting, uh, I decided to go on a more safe path, because to be honest, like I didn't want to deal with the uncertainty of like having my own business. So yeah, that's how I started like to work on the corporate world and everything, because I thought that that was a way to, like have a certainty and like have more security in my life, like knowing that the money would arrive every month, that I would work, and that's it. Like you don't have to think about your salary or anything like that, because you know that the money is like coming every month. And for me, that was extremely appealing. I don't know, like I don't know, uh, and yeah, it still is, like it still is, uh, but it was always an important factor in my life. Like having like the certainty that the money would arrive every month. uh, so yeah, even though having my own business was like seemed a nice idea, I don't know, like this idea of like not having the money entering my bank account every month was kind of like scary to me. And also, like, I like to have like a work life balance, let's say. I like to have time to spend with my husband, Marcus. I like to have time to do other things. I don't want to leave for work, and also like based on my experience with my parents, that looked like the entrepreneur life, like it's either taking care of your business or enjoying life. And to be honest, like I want to enjoy life. Um, so these things, the uh, yeah, wanting to have the money coming in like every month on my bank account, and also like uh, wanting to have like a work-life balance and having time to enjoy my life. Those things, they always yeah, just like put me away from this idea of starting my own business or following my parents' path. Um but yeah, uh, one other thing that I think that it's like somehow like one of the big factors was the fear of like failing, you know. I don't like to fail, and for me failing is, I don't know, like very connected to my, like who I am, uh, and every time I fail, I feel like the worst person like ever. Um, and I don't like to fail. And thinking about, like having my own business comes with this idea of failure and having to make peace with that, because yeah, sometimes like it will fail and it's not gonna work. But I don't know, I've always been like too afraid to fail. uh yeah, and that somehow like also put me like away of this path. uh but I'm looking at my phone because for the first time I have uh kind of like a script, not a script, but like uh yeah, a guide. So that's why I'm looking at my phone. uh but yeah, I grew up like in a house with my parents having their own business, and somehow that seemed very exciting, but also very daunting. So that's why I never really considered, like having my own business or like doing it in a proper, serious way. But it's funny because I think that, yeah, sometimes the universe just leads you on the way that on the path that you have to, like follow. Um, and I have this thing next to my bed. Uh, it's something that I bought like when I was visiting my brother in the US. We went to this nice bookstore, and they had this kind of like postcards with some famous quotes and everything. And I saw this one, and yeah, I immediately connected with that quote. And it's a quote from Joseph Campbell, and it says, "Follow your bliss, and the universe will open doors where there were." Yeah, let me check the the quote. It's follow your bliss. Yeah, so the quote is, "Follow your bliss, and the universe will open doors where there were only walls." And I kept that thing next to my bed because I wanted to, I don't know, like remember that every day, like every time I would look to that thing, I would remember like to follow my bliss. Uh, And I've been trying to do that, like I've been trying to follow my bliss, hoping that the universe would open the doors for me. Uh, and I've tried different things. I think that like having this YouTube channel is a way to follow like my bliss as well, because I've always wanted to have this channel and I've always wanted to do this. So I think it's a way to follow my bliss. Also, like writing uh, is a way to follow my bliss, or my podcast was a way to do that. So I'm always trying to follow my bliss. Yeah, to see if I will get some doors open. Uh, and as you know, I left my job last year. So end of last year, I left my job. And since then, I've been like thinking about like what to do uh, next in my life, thinking about like corporate, thinking about maybe having my own business. And I don't know, I feel that the universe was leading me to this path, like, and every time that I was like getting close to corporate again, the universe was like, no, 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 this is not your path anymore. So let's go this other way. Uh, and yeah, now I'm trying uh, to follow my bliss, and this leads me to the moment where I got to use my dad's Montblanc. The story of this, let me just share the story of this pen. So my mom gave this pen, this Montblanc, to my father like a long time ago, when checks, they were still a thing, so my dad, he used to sign like a lot of checks with this pen. uh, and growing up, like we were not rich, like rich. So buying a Mont Blanc, it was definitely something that my mom had to, put a lot of effort to do it, and uh, pay this in like a lot of installments. So she did this. She gave this to my father as like a special gift, and he always kept this with him, so he always used this one to sign checks, but eventually sign checks and other documents as well. But eventually, checks, they got out of style, like we don't use checks anymore, and he stopped using this pen. uh, and he put on his drawer, and he stayed there. And I remembered like this pen, and we were talking once, and I was like, that what about that pen, like what about that Mont Blanc? Because for me, like I love to write, so pens, they have a weight for me, like a lot of weight. They feel special somehow, because like you can do whatever you want when you have a pen. You can write whatever you want. You can write your thoughts. You can write about your feelings. You can create stories. You can create worlds. You can, it's just a very powerful tool. And for me, it was just a shame to have like a Mont Blanc, this very special pen, like sitting on his drawer. So I asked him like, what about that pen? That like, what what is happening? And he said like, yeah, it's there. Like, and I was like, yeah, would you consider giving it to me? And he was like, yeah, I can do that. So last year when they like came to visit us, they brought this pen, which comes in a very nice box, like this box. So like it feels it feels special. Uh, and he gave it to me, and I was, I don't know, like super thankful because it's a luxury good, let's say. Uh, so I was hoping for the moment where I would use this pen, and I was like, I will wait for the right moment. I was like, I will wait for yeah, a special moment to use this pen. And this day finally arrived last Friday, uh, because last Friday I officially became a business owner here in the Netherlands. So I did the things online in the morning, and in the afternoon I went to the Chamber of Commerce, KVK, to sign the document. And I was like, I think that this is a good moment to use my dad's Montblanc, to sign the document where I'm like opening my own business. Um, and I get emotional like talking about this because when I was going there, I don't know, like I just kept thinking about my dad and his journey as an entrepreneur, uh, and that somehow I was following his path, like in my parents' path, even though I didn't want to, because it was very scary and I don't know, very daunting. And I love the security of like having the salary entering my bank account every month. Uh, Even though like I had all those fears, I was going to the Chamber of Commerce to sign the document, opening my own business with my dad's Mont Blanc. And that for me was very, I don't know, very emotional. Like, and I still get emotional talking about this. This is not fake. I'm not like forcing. I'm not an actor. I really get emotional, uh, because I don't know. Like, I think that good things, they hold a lot of value over time, and they carry like a lot of history, uh, and they tell a lot about us without like a single word, you know. So for me, signing that document with my dad's pens, like, I don't know, it felt like he was there with me, like even though he was in Brazil, I felt that he was with me, and that I was carrying on the legacy somehow. So yeah, it felt very special to sign that document with his pen, uh, which happens to be like a very nice Mont Blanc, a very beautiful Mont Blanc. And when I left there, I sent a message to him, like a voice message talking about this. And yeah, he was happy to know that I was using like his pen to start this new chapter of my life. And I was happy as well. And yeah, so I finally got the chance to use my dad's Mont Blanc, and it was for a very special uh, occasion, a very special moment of my life, and I will for sure remember this for the rest of my life. And I hope to give this pen to my child one day, and I hope that they will, like carry on the legacy somehow and write their own stories with this pen. Because yeah, I'm writing my own story and following my bliss, and starting this very scary chapter of my life, uh, having my own business. But somehow I feel that the universe will open the doors for me. And yeah, like I don't know why, I just feel that, and it's good to feel this, you know So yeah, I'm starting my own business, and this will become like a series of videos here on my channel as well, like following my journey, my honest diary as a CEO and founder of a company. And yeah, just subscribe and follow the channel to follow my journey as well, because I know that it's not gonna be easy. It's not easy at all, and it hasn't been easy, but I'm very excited. I'm very excited for this next chapter. Somehow it feels right, you know? And even though like I have some fears, it feels right, and I'm like doing despite my fear. Uh, yeah, because as they say in Dune, fear is the mind killer. So yeah, I won't let fear stop me, and I will do it. I will follow my bliss, and I will, yeah, create my business. And I hope you tag along to see my journey and to follow my journey. And yeah, I'm excited for this next chapter. Um, Thank you, Dad. Obrigado, Pai, for this pen. Thank you, Mom, as well, for being like an example. And yeah, I hope to make you guys proud, and I hope to make me proud as well. Okay, so yeah, let me know here in the comments, like if you also have a dream somehow and you feel afraid to pursue that dream. And yeah, let's talk about it. A different format this time, uh, but yeah, I think it was worth it. So yeah, this is it for today. I hope to write like very nice things with this pen and create very nice things, and yeah, keep signing important documents with this pen. Uh, and I see you in the next. One last thing. One last thing. I'm not sure when the first video of this new series will come out, but yeah, subscribe, and I will share here when this is going to happen. Okay? Take care. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Ciao.